ना आए, समझदारी बढ़ाएं।
Good evening. Today I am here to from I am representing India Post Payments Bank, and I am going to give you a perspective on financial literacy and investor education from the perspective of India Post Payments Bank. How how we are contributing towards investor education and financial literacy, and what is the background for it. And so just to give you some essential facts, India's average literacy rate stands at approximately 77.7%. That means the people who are able to read, write, and speak the some language which is different from what their native language is. And India is home to about 17% of the population in the world, and out of the total population, only 24% people are financially literate. So there's a difference between what we would say as literate and what is financially literate. So this reveals the pressing need to educate the masses about finance, investment, and investors' education. So looking at the current scenario, it becomes all the more important, and the reason for that is that if you look at some of the data in front of us, UPI, the UPI payment systems had recorded about 2.3 billion transactions worth about 2.31 trillion. That means 4.31 trillion. That means around 4.31 lakh crores in January 2021. But this high volume is also leading to fraudsters. They are attacking businesses, end users, customers, and this is leading to more and more concern about awareness and what is happening in the financial sector. There have been cyber attacks across the world, and in 2020, if you look at the data, if we make a Google search, we'll see big millions and millions of dollars having been lost in cyber attacks on groups like Toll Group, Marriott International, Megaland, Twitter, etc. And this reveals the vulnerability of investors, and more digitization is happening across the world. So what is the definition of financial literacy? Financial literacy is the ability to understand and effectively use various financial skills, including personal financial management, budgeting, and investing. So that is the definition. Financial literacy and its components. Basically, means financial knowledge and also impacting the financial behaviors, financial attitude, as well as financial well-being. This is a reference to the OECD, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development definition, and INFE, International Survey of Adult Financial Literacy Study in 2020. So basically, it also not only means the knowledge about what is happening, what financial products, services, etc. are, but also, having a little tweak in terms of the financial behavior, the attitude towards, handling finance, and as well as, working towards the financial well-being of an individual. Investor education, on the other hand, it refers to the learning and improvement of skills and knowledge that people need to know for making sound investment decisions and selecting among different saving schemes and products and planning for their retirement. So why is the need for financial literacy? It basically means it's a strong foundation of financial literacy. It supports in various life goals such as savings for education, retirement, using your debt, whatever you have borrowed responsibly, and running a business. And lack of financial literacy can also lead to a number of pitfalls such as unsustainable debt burdens, poor credit, bankruptcy, etc. And also, to protect and promote the interests of individual investors, they should be taught about investing in general and provided with all necessary information which is required for an informed decision making. And this also prevents investors or people from getting trapped into the frauds. So, lack of basic financial knowledge results in poor investment and financial decisions. That's why, in India, most of the people invest for short-term gains and in short-term plans, and for physical assets like gold and real estate, etc., to accomplish their personal goals, which gives probably lesser benefit, lesser liquidity, and lesser returns, and does not help in the economic development of the industry also, because it can kind of locks the money and locks into fixed assets. So typically in India, SEBI, which is the capital markets regulator, has taken aggressive stand with respect to investor education and has taken various initiatives towards enabling investor education. And SEBI has appointed resource persons across the country and is also using stock exchanges, mutual funds, and other intermediaries to conduct workshops to educate people about investor education and fraud prevention. So how does the payments bank, India Post Payments Bank is a payments bank, and how does the payments bank, they contribute towards financial literacy, and what is the role of the payments bank? Why they were envisaged? That is what we have to understand over here. The main objective of a payments bank, why it was created, was to widen the spread of payment and financial services to small businesses, low income households, migrant labor workforce, and that too in a secure technology driven environment, and bringing them into formal financial channels. Typically these days, traditionally, people have been using informal financial channels for their investment, savings, etc. So now the idea is to bring them into formal financial channels. So with Payments Bank, RBI seeks to increase the penetration level of financial services to the remote areas of the country. So Payments Bank model is aimed to provide banking services at the last mile without taking any credit risk on their books, right? So this helps the banks to sustain and to survive in difficult financial environments. These banks carry the financial services to the last mile in a cost-effective manner through the digital channels. So what are the financial initiatives or financial literacy initiatives taken by the Government of India? If we look at some of the works that Government of India is undertaking, so the Reserve Bank of India, the Securities and Exchange Board of India, SEBI, IRDA, PFRDA, they have created a joint charter called National Strategy for Financial Education, which is detailing initiatives taken by them and also other market participants like banks, stock exchanges, broking houses, mutual funds, and insurers. And this shows that with greater financial inclusion, there is a need to enhance customer protection and financial education so that people continue to access formal financial services without any hesitation. So some of the other government initiatives are like Center for Financial Literacy project, which was undertaken by RBI. It was conceptualized in 2017 which is an innovative way to impart financial education through community approach. So the project was set up in 100 blocks on a pilot basis in collaboration with select banks in 2017 and some NGOs, right, which is now being scaled up across the country to every block in a phased manner, and the target is March 2024. Similarly, National Strategy for Financial Education, NSFE 2020 to 2025, was set up with a 5C approach, The approach was content, C for content, C for capacity. Content basically means to, incorporate financial literacy and these investor awareness programs in school curriculums and, various other agendas of the programs which are conducted through the government. Then capacity building in terms of how to take this financial literacy across India and, to incorporate various organizations and to, bring them into their fold to take the financial education agenda across the country. Community approach to basically, create some kind of a synergy and basically create influencers in the community approach to, expand this agenda. Communication, to have better communication and better, approach towards, taking this financial education agenda along, and collaboration with various organizations, banks, financial institutions and NGOs, etc. So this reflects the strong focus of the government towards deepening of financial education across the country. So now RBI, IPPB's approach towards deepening of financial literacy and education of the investors. So the first thing and the foremost thing, when the IPPB Bank, which was started in 2018, it was launched by Honorable Prime Minister Modi in September 2018. The idea was to, first of all, take financial literacy within the organization. So as you all know, that Department of Post is a large organization having so many people and which has got almost 3.5 to 4 lakh employees. So IPPB implemented one of the largest ever digital financial literacy program by investing over 1 crore man hours in training and certifying 2.92 lakh postal assistants, postmen and GDS as banking service providers for capacity building. So to take the financial agenda and the banking agenda across the country, we did certification of 2.92 lakh people across the country. It was a very mammoth task and which was done in a record time. And we partnered thereby, we later on in 2020, this beginning of last year, we partnered with IPF and NABARD for serving the unbanked and underserved population through unparalleled reach of postal network. So riding on the vast network or distribution network which is already there since ages, it has been there since more than 150 years, and to ride onto that and to leverage that and to synergize with that, we partnered with IPF and NABARD. So maximum impact also, we can see that, the impact of India Post Payments Bank or this partnership has created in special focus districts, which is 117 special focus districts, which are places like Karbi, Anlong in Assam, very deep areas, Dhalai in Tripura, Vokha in Nagaland, Mokachang in Nagaland, Changlang in Arunachal Pradesh, Leh and Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Some of these left-wing extremist districts, hill districts, forest locations. So all these locations which are unreachable and which are difficult to reach, these locations we have created the impact, and we have carried this financial literacy programs over there. So the financial literacy and investor education in India Post Payments Bank. Basically, this is, if you look at it, the financial and digital literacy is the basic foundation of the bank, because we ride on digital technology, we ride on the mobile banking technology, we ride on the technology which is entirely technology driven and which is a low cost, frugal, innovative, intuitive technology for banking. So we reach the customers at the last mile in user friendly way. So these are some of our principles. We reach them in the user friendly way. We have safe and secure environment we give them, use cutting edge technology, convenience and trust factor, cost effective way by using a mix of physical mode, which is through assisted mode, and digital mode. Now here we call this something called phygital mode, which is basically a mix of physical plus digital. So in order to initiate a person into the digital technology, you always need somebody to guide him, to show him the way, and thereby bring him into the digital technology world. So there the assisted mode, which is through a trusted person, which is the postman or the dakia, he plays a very, very critical role. And today, that trust which has been earned over 150 years, this Dakiya is very easy to guide and advise the people how to use the mobile technology and the banking technology through the digital means, and get into the financial mainstream. So there's a very famous saying by Margaret Mead which says that never doubt a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. So very small group of people, I mean, what is just about 2 lakh postmen, but they can actually change the world. They can actually bring about a change, and we believe strongly that these people can contribute in a great manner towards the financial literacy and customer investor education. So what is the distinctive methodology that we approach in terms of financial literacy and investor education? So first of all, the financial investor awareness material is prepared in vernacular languages as per the literacy levels of the targeted customers. So, in a location which is in Tamil Nadu, the material is prepared in Tamil, and the location which is in West Bengal is prepared in Bengali. So, like that, so vernacular languages are used. Unbanked and underbanked segments connected through GDS and influencers for banking services and invited to FLCs, which is financial literacy camps. So we use these sarpanch and the influencers in a small location, villages, who is a chieftain or the headmaster of a school or of a health dispensary or a doctor. So these influencers are used to bring in and to get the people to come to these financial literacy camps and gain from the knowledge. So financial literacy and investor education is then explained along with live banking transactions in these camps. So these things are explained to people along with live banking transactions. Many of the customers are initiated into these banking transactions, and thereby they are taught in a live manner as well as in the through videos, through printed material, and also through through the microphones in the sense that their lectures are also delivered in these camps. So products and platform adoption is explained and guided in assisted mode. So these products, various products, like for example, product like Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana, why the life insurance is important, why banking is important, what can he do with the savings bank, how he can use digital payments, how he can insure his two-wheeler, or for example, how he can buy health insurance. So these things are explained and they are guided with him on the in a assisted mode to these people. Digital camps and webinars are also conducted. So typically last year when we tied up with IPF and also with started doing a lot of programs with NABARD, and we got the budgets from them. So the COVID had started. We since March of 2020 COVID started, and we were in a great amount of difficulty. So we also did a lot of digital camps and webinars to take financial literacy to people across India. So then the last step is also feedback is taken digitally as well as telephonically post the camps to improve the future programs and measures to impact the various camp activities in the times to come. So just to give a little idea about what is happening at India Post Payments Bank. So what is the IPPB infrastructure? We have around 650 branches, approximately one branch across each and every district in the country, and we have 1,36,000 post offices as banking access points, and out of that 1,10,000 are in the rural areas. So we have digitized and connected them through the banking activities by providing them micro ATMs and other devices. And we have approximately 1,19,000 postmen and Gramin Dak Sevaks as doorstep banking service providers, which are already working in the field, and they are providing the banking services at the doorstep of the people. Now this is the fastest access point ramp up in the banking history. When I told you that when we launched in September 2018, by March we had almost covered 1,25,000 plus banking access points, and at the rate of more than 800 access points being made live per day basis. So this is one of the fastest ramp ups across the world. The business impact. now in the last almost less than 2.5 years, we have almost got 4 crore customers and merchants which we have acquired, almost 4 crore plus AEPS transactions. Typically when last year there was COVID impact, and a lot of people, they were not able to get money at their doorstep, and the money was lying in the banks but they could not withdraw. So our COVID warriors, they played a great role in terms of reaching out to these people at their doorstep and providing them money through Aadhaar enabled payment system, which is through the biometric. They just touch the biometric finger and they get the money at the doorstep. More than 50,000 PMJJBYs, Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana, providing insurance cover of 2 lakhs to the people, and almost 10,000 crores of AEPS transaction value was disbursed. 70 lakh plus mobile app downloads have happened, and similarly in the COVID times, we also helped generate a lot of digital literacy, DLC certificate, Jeevan Praman certificates to more than 4 lakh old and pensionable people who could not go to the banks to get their DLCs generated, and this is called the Digital Life Certificate. So there we had to go and get them done through the Aadhaar based biometric at their doorstep. So we helped them get the pensions. So the evidence of excellence, what is happening with India Post Payments Bank. So we create rigorous SOPs which we have developed for NABARD and IPF camps. The budgets are allocated on quarterly basis to individual branches. Periodic reviews of the branches and circle heads by committee members, which is done by the top management. And IPF, in partnership with NABARD and IPF, we have already conducted, even though there was COVID last year, we have conducted more than 9,000 financial literacy camps with a total of more than 8 lakh participants directly in the NABARD and IPF camps. And digital villages across India, we created something called a concept called Saksham Gram, wherein we created at least one banking account in each and every household, and we created digital merchants. All the digital merchants in the village were made digital. So these kind of Saksham Grams we have also created in thousands of numbers across India. So what is again further the evidence of excellence with IPF? What we have done, we have created a comprehensive portal which is designed by IPF to capture camp-wise participant details along with pictures and real-time on-ground MIS. So this portal, as we have shown a screenshot of that, basically we have created a portal wherein all the participant details with their names, mobile numbers, etc. are entered into this portal, and those who have attended these camps, and pictures are also entered for each and every financial literacy camp. So we have created co-branded collaterals for customer education. These collaterals can be taken by the customer. They can read later on also in the very simple local languages, and awareness activities through social media platforms or creatives on customer awareness and protection. These things have been created with along with IPF. So what is the future roadmap for IPF? So one is bringing unorganized sector or merchants onto the digital payment ecosystem and channelize their growth. So this is one of the biggest agendas of the India Post Payments Bank and the investor education and financial literacy. So this unorganized sector, because of the vast reach and the deep and rural network and the access of India Post Payments Bank riding on the Department of Post, so we are going to bring unorganized sector merchants onto the digital platform. Then we are trying to cover the entire unbanked and underbanked villages under financial inclusion umbrella through the unparalleled postal network, enabling more transactions in customers' dormant bank accounts and encourage usage to provide to improve the impact in the rural segment of the society. Typically, we have seen that in so many Jan Dhan accounts, for example, almost 36 crore Jan Dhan accounts have been opened in the initial drive, but very few Jan Dhan accounts, almost 30 to 35% only were used, but the rest of them went dormant. So idea is to not only open these bank accounts for the people, but also to enable more and more transactions in these accounts. Even we are also making the dormant Jan Dhan accounts also active by providing them access to those Jan Dhan accounts through AEPS service. So in case their account is in the Jan Dhan account is linked with Aadhaar, or they have Aadhaar seeded into that account, they can withdraw, deposit money and transfer money from these accounts through AEPS, sitting at their home, in their village, even if the bank is say around 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers away. So this is how we have made them active. Work not only on financial knowledge. So this again is something which is very important, not only to provide the people about financial knowledge. So we are also trying to work on the behavior, financial attitude, as well as just to create the financial well-being. So this is basically the idea of India Post Payments Bank, and these are some of the pictures where we conducted a lot of these camps. These camps are also attended by the district authorities, the district financial, the official of the NABARD, IPF officials, and also some of the block officials as well as panchayat officers. So you can see that there is a huge participation from women, from the students, as well as from some of the panchayat officers, etc. And this is the screenshot of the digital financial literacy camps that we had conducted. We had taught them people about ransomware, do's and don'ts of what to do in the digital transactions, etc. And these are again some of the webinars and the digital camps that we had conducted. And these are again some of the camps in some of the remote locations. And typically, if you look at it, the Department of Post and the postal, the postman or the Gramin Dak Sevak is able to attract a lot of trust and belief, and that is why the word of the postman or the Gramin Dak Sevak carries a lot more weight than anybody else who would have probably conducted the same financial literacy camp, because of the trust that he has earned over so many years. And he is a person, or he is a son of the soil. He can create, talk to them in the local language. He can address these people by their first name and their personal name, so he knows them in person. So this creates a lot of impact, and the learning goes much more deeper and much better for these people. So these are again some of these camps. As you can see that Investor Education banner is also there along with India Post. These co-branded banners are also placed, and a lot of these senior people are also participating actively in these camps. So that is about it from my side, and I hope that you have gained from this lecture. So thank you very much. Namaskar. Jai Hind.